What is going on, guys? It is Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son, and we're talking about that Robert Kirkman new series on Amazon Prime, and that's Invincible, episode 5. This will be a spoiler review, but man, is it just continuing to get better and more just gruesome, and I love it. I thought this episode was fantastic, actually. We did get introduced with Titan earlier on in the season, but we really get to know this so-called like villain in this episode. And man, Titan is great. Titan is like Luke Cage with a little bit of Lex Luthor, because throughout this episode, he's not like your typical villain where he's doing these he's doing a lot of these robberies. He's doing a lot of this like dirty work for this machine head kind of guy who was very eccentric, very jokey. I loved it. I loved the look. He had a nice little business suit. He had his little right hand man who could teleport him anywhere. So I really like a lot of the costumes and the look of the show. Once again, the budget is not all there. There is shots that, you want a little bit better animation or movement of the animation. Maybe a little bit more of a render, but it still maintains your interest because of the characters. And when they get down with the fights, they get down with the fights. Like, the fights are where it's at in this show. Freaking love it. But going back to Titan is a character where he has sympathy, right? He sympathizes with a lot of the people he has to kick their ass, get money from, burn down a building, gives them money to like stay. So like, he's a sympathized villain. Like, he's trying to. At first I was like, he's gonna become an anti-hero because he has a daughter. I believe his wife. His daughter seems like she's sick. In this episode, he uses that right against Mark. And what I love about this episode is that it really showcases that, I guess the message was, you're not ready, right? You think you're hot shit, but you're not ready. Mark was one of them. Omni-Man, Nolan states that, like, this guy, he told him, like, I don't know, you're making a huge mistake helping this Titan guy. Backfires on Mark for sure. And Nolan tells, Debbie, like, he's thinks he's hot shit after a month of like training, which I really like, that Mark is still training, he's still learning, he's stopping asteroids and pushing them back, and it's just like the little asteroid. I still love the banter between his father and him, Nolan and Mark. Is so good because that father and son dynamic needs to work in the show, and it absolutely does. So I loved it in this episode. I think the jokes really landed in this episode too. But the message is, you're not ready. And that doesn't just go for Mark. And he's not ready, superhero wise. He thinks he's fully ready to take all this responsibility. He's honest, he's earnest, he wants to help people. But yeah, I think he's getting a little bit of that celebrity kind of life of being a hero. Yet he's not able to balance the hero side and the social side, a relationship with Amber. He's not able to balance both lives. He hasn't learned to do that. He hasn't learned everything he needs to learn to even be a hero. So that's what I love about that. And then also the new team, right? The new AKA Justice League. Yeah, Beast Girl. You have Rex, which, oh man, I'm getting so annoyed by this character, and I thought he was gonna die in this episode. I'm like, finally, but he doesn't. Like, Black Samson, I believe his name is. You have him, Robot. You have the multiplier kind of girl, Multiple Kate, I believe her name is. You even have Eve a little bit in this episode, which I really like. Eve, they're really showcasing like her relationship with her parents and how her parents feels about her being a hero. How they're very like sexist. They think that she needs a man to protect her when she has like all the powers in the world to protect herself. I like that they showcase her relationship with Amber. So, but the new AK Justice League, with Robot having them. Well, I guess he's not he's watching. He's like the watcher. He's like the one that put the team together. But Black Samson's the leader, and I love how he's just telling everybody's having high-fiving, like, oh, what a good day's work. And he's like, no, motherfucker. They're all drinking beers, like, nah. And then he showcases, like, look where all you guys screwed up. We have so many civilians in the hospital. I love that aspect of the show where he's pointing out, and it's making sense, how much of a fuck up Rex is and how much of a team they are not. You know, you even have the girl who shrinks in and shrinks out like an Ant-Man type, and they're all not working together right. They think they are because they won the fight, they beat the villains, but there's other things you have to take accountability of, and you have to be strategic to save civilians, beat the villains, and make sure not as much collateral damage. It's a whole thing, and I loved how he presented that. Like, you guys are dumb, you guys are idiots. We're not a team yet. So once again, that message of they're not ready. Rex is such a hothead. Rex thinks, he's the guy who's loud and everybody follows. And Black Samson's like, nah, you're an idiot. Loved everything that he showcased, and loved the different layers of like AK villain. I love the humor of villains. I love the humor in general of this episode. I thought the humor was really on point. I love the mystery between Robot and, he was going with those, the Mahler twins, right? I think he was collecting a sample of them. What the hell's that whole thing? While Robot is still an active member and still saving people, but he has a hidden agenda, right? And apparently he has feelings for Beast Girl, who's 25, but I love the consequences. She states it over and over again, but it's absolutely terrifying because the more she uses her powers, the younger she gets. That is terrifying. And yet she still wants to do this, right? Absolutely insane. I love the consequences of that character. She gets messed up. Everybody gets fucked up at the end. I was like, holy shit. There was a nice little battle between Titan in the beginning of this episode with a lot of these rival gang or whatever. It was brutal. It was great. He lets the kid go, even though the kid shot him in the face, but he still lets him go. I like that. But using Mark in this episode, Omni-Man warned Mark. And then at the end, where everybody gets their ass whooped, Black Samson, I thought he was dead. I guess he's still alive, but I thought he was dead. Mark is almost dead. And they get a sample of him. So I'm hoping that they don't clone him. I'm hoping that the real Mark is still alive. If they do clone him, there'll be like a Spider-Man kind of deal going on. But hopefully the real Mark is still alive and he doesn't die and we get a clone and this whole storyline. Because we're already following this original Mark, right? So, but that was great. That whole fight at the end, the lion-looking villain who's kind of like across from Thor was amazing. He gave no shits. This dude was powerful. And what's crazy is that Omni-Man was looking and watching his son fail and at the brink of death. But then, Mark has this he has his rage mode, right? Where he just gets pissed. He loses it. And he starts kicking ass for a little bit, but he's just still just not there. So that whole fight sequence was amazing. I loved every time a fight happens in this show, it is, you're glued to the screen. You want to see how brutal it is. But not only that, the fights are just great. The great choreography, the way they showcase a lot of the powers of all these different people, all these different villains. Man, Debbie for the win. I love her. Omni-Man, I think Darkblood told Omni-Man she's suspicious of him. I love how she sends him away to do errands and stuff, and she has this time limit. She has this window, right? She's so smart and knows. There was a line in here too where again, she doesn't have superpowers, but yet she's the one that taught Omni-Man how to be a hero. He didn't know about humanity, and she's the one that did all that. So I love the fact that she has such a big part in here because she's gonna uncover what Nolan did and how she is able to know the most powerful being in the universe, and she's able to do the things she does in time and know when his tendencies and how much time she has before he comes back. It's great. I think she's doing I think the character Debbie is fantastic. The mom is as strong as differently. She doesn't need to have power. She's her mind, her history, her awareness. Like, she is killing. She's strong in her own right, which I absolutely love. So Mark almost fucking dies in the show. I think at this point, Amber's gonna find out like that Mark is invincible. So I mean, this episode was great. It was so good. It was really, really good. The momentum really like, it was a nice that they gave us like a true action scene in the beginning, and then we get into the characters, and the characters are funny, they're likable. A lot of these characters are very, very likable. I think this is what the strength of this show is. Even Omni-Man, you're just so intrigued and engaged of this character. So, and then leading up to a big, big fight. That's the way to do it, man. That's a great pacing, great thought out episode that leaves you still engaged. And then presenting more storylines that might happen, especially with getting the blood of Mark. And then I'm wondering if he's going to survive or not. And Omni-Man not coming to help him. I've seen that kind of before. So I'm not really shocked that his own dad didn't come and like save him. His dad's pretty much teaching him a lessons. That's what I got out of it. I want to see more of that Beast character, though. He ends up just leaving, that Thor-like Beast character. The dude was badass, man. That dude was wrecking shit. Against Omni-Man, he's no match for Omni-Man. Everybody knows that. But fantastic episode. Really loved it. Pacing was great. Choreography was great with the action sequences. Characters that was presented early on in the season now making a big shine, like as Titan, and where he was in the beginning of the episode, and then using Mark, and then because he has that like Lex Luthor kind of quality to him. I love it. I absolutely love it. We sympathize with him. We understand that he's not all bad, and that's what makes the best villains, right? So great episode. Can't wait for the next one. Invincible, episode 5. I'm enjoying the hell out of this show. There was really nothing there I could really critique too much at all. Thank you guys for listening. Please subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate it. I have more than just Invincible reviews. I have movies, TV, music, all these cool little videos I have on my channel. So come check it out. Scroll down, anime. This may be like a cartoon, graphic cartoon, but it has that anime tendencies too in there. So like the videos, I really appreciate that as well. It really kind of raises the channel up. Support this channel. And then you can find me on Instagram at DanDeman Reviews, and you can find me on Twitch at DMan80528. So till next episode, man. Loving it. Kirkman killing it. Amazon Prime. Good job, guys. Good job bringing the series to light. Bye, guys.